Hi, if you want to watch exclusive content with hot girls that you won't watch on YouTube, namely where Naruto roasts Kushina and Mikoto and many other hot girls without restrictions, then visit my Boosty channel at the link in the description. The final battle in the Valley of the End. Sasuke and Naruto were preparing for the final attack. Suddenly Sasuke spoke. Enough, Naruto, this is the end. There is no point in continuing. I will not back down from my own. Instead of fighting against me, you should join me. What are you fighting for? For your friends? So they will betray you at the first advantage for themselves. They avoided you all your life, insulted you, and some beat you, but you continued to pretend to be God knows who. All your life you have seen only contempt and hatred from the inhabitants, for the actions and events of other people. Why did you try so much to show them everyone that they were wrong? You have rotten this village and the entire shinobi world to their core. You think by becoming a hero in their eyes they will forgive your future mistakes. But your first failure, and you are like Sakumo Hataka. From a hero you will turn into a traitor and a loser, again. Enough, stop. At least once in your life stop behaving like an idiot and look at the world through my eyes. Naruto silently looked into his friend's eyes. He listened to every word, and before his eyes again flashed glances full of hatred and contempt. But he firmly shook his head, forcing these memories to leave his head. Naruto the fox called him. I don't have much chakra left. I'll give you everything I have for the last attack, and then I'll fall asleep. Try not to screw up. With these words, Naruto felt a surge of strength, and Kurama closed his eyes and fell asleep. I have never gone back on my words and my ninja path. I gave my word that I would return you to Konoha, and I will do it. Why would I? But he couldn't finish, because Sasuke got tired of it. He realized that none of them would back down, and so he cast a powerful Tsukuyomi on him with his Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, where he showed his whole life, each time scrolling through all the bad moments of his life, the deaths of his parents, mentor, friends and comrades, while piercing and physically hurting him. This lasted a whole year in Tsukuyomi and all 5 seconds in reality. But it was these 5 seconds that Sasuke needed to teleport behind Naruto with Raikiri. A moment, and a hand pierces his chest in the heart area. Blood spurted from his mouth, tears along with thoughts that this is the end. Sasuke. You. But he couldn't finish. Slowly darkness enveloped his eyes and Naruto simply dissolved into it. Sasuke pulled his hand out of the body of his eternal rival and absorbed the remaining chakra of all the boastful ones and went to carry out his justice, killing all those who were not pleasing to him and those who could hinder him. In the end, the last Uchiha went crazy, killing another victim. He no longer thought and simply forgot his plan. He plunged into madness, killing left and right. A creature with a tanto in its teeth was watching all this, many senseless deaths. Too many. Shinigami is the god of death. He silently watched this end of the world. The integrity of the world was broken. The question of the destruction of this world was not far off. But this could not be allowed, and even if he was the god of death, and for him this was only a plus. But even he obeyed his own rules, and this was not included in any of the points. Everything needs to be fixed, and for this you need to choose the chosen one. And now Shinigami was hovering above him. Your path is not over yet. I am sending you to the distant past, so that you can change the past for the sake of the future. This world is ending and only you can fix it. You only have one try. If you fail, then the shinobi world. The end. For your mission, you need strength and I will give it to you. From now on you are an Uchiha. I will grant you the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, the knowledge and skills of Madara Uchiha. Everything else depends only on you. I will also give you the opportunity to invent a past for your reincarnation. Think carefully, because you also have one chance. Go Naruto Uchiha, fix and save the past. There was a bright flash, and the body of the former Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails dissolved into time and space. This is how the story of Naruto Uzumaki ended, but it is also a push for Naruto Uchiha, territory of the Land of Fire. Naruto woke up from the sun rays stubbornly blinding his eyes. He sat up and looked around. There was a dense forest around. There was a small pond nearby. That's where he decided to go to see what kind of body they had slipped him. Approaching the pond, he began to examine himself. He was dressed in a black cloak, somewhat similar to the cloak that the Akatsuki wore, only without clouds, shod in standard shinobi shoes, and had a gun by hanging on his back, like Madara's. Not surprising, Naruto thought, remembering Shinigami's words. Underneath the cloak was a black suit, the kind of suit usually worn under armor before the formation of shinobi villages. The face was somewhat reminiscent of Madara's face. The mustache had disappeared from both cheeks, the eyes had turned black, the hair was long and silky. Naruto sat down on a nearby rock and began to think about the situation. So, now I'm an Uchiha. Yeah, it'll be hard to get used to, but I have no choice. Shinigami gave me a chance to fix everything and I won't miss it. First, let's dig around in our heads. I have 4 elements: fire, wind, lightning, and water. Not bad. So I'm a master of gunbai. Well, that's good, although it would be better if I practice here a little. So I know one medical technique of the mystical palm. Well, now it would be better to practice all your knowledge. Naruto stood up from his seat and began to warm up. 100 laps around the pond, 100 push-ups, 100 pull-ups on a branch, and practicing skills with gunbai and in ninjutsu. After 4 hours, Naruto sat under a tree and caught his breath. As it turned out, in ninjutsu he had knowledge of every technique. After resting for a while, he remembered about the Sharingan. Directing chakra into his eyes, he activated the 3-volume Sharingan. After admiring it for a bit, he gave a little more chakra into his eyes and his Sharingan transformed into the Manjikyu Sharingan. His Manjikyu was a copy of Itachi Sharingan, but with 4 tomoe forming a circle in the gaps of its pattern. With a little effort, he gained access to the knowledge of his Manjikyu. He had several abilities: a red Susanoo, with the artifacts of the blade of Totsuka and the mirror of Yado. His Susanoo was 1-to-1, Madara's Susanoo, the flames of Amaterasu, immunity to Tsukuyami and any kind of Genjutsu and Tsukuyami itself. Realizing that without practice he would be killed pretty quickly, he sighed, but still stood up and began to practice his eyes. Tsukuyami he cast on the animals, of which there were plenty. After 3 hours. Now you need to work on your character's past. Because I'm an Uchiha, and the entire clan lives on Konoha's territory, I need to work out all the details. For starters, as much as I don't want to, I'll have to become related to Madara. Well, for his son, I'm too young, I'm 13 in face, then a grandson. After an hour of reflection. So, I am Naruto Uchiha, the son of Itachi and Izumi Uchiha. I was born outside the village, because after my grandfather left the village, my grandmother Kiyomi Uchiha, fearing for her life and the life of her child, taking with her the daughter of her deceased friend, left the village with my grandfather. But after a long wandering with him in different corners of the world, she began to observe signs of madness and outbursts of anger, ran away with 5-year-old children, fearing his strong changes. During the First Shinobi World War, SWW, she died. My father and mother continued to wander the world, where in the territory of the Demon Country. I was born on October 10th. After the First World War, a year ago in the territory of the Earth Country, we were attacked by a group of Nugnin, where my mother was killed, and I awakened my Manjikyu Sharingan. My mother's death was a blow to my father. Seeing the death of his wife, he allowed himself to be wounded by a kunai that was poisoned, but he was able to bring the fight to the end and kill them. Before his death, he transplanted his eyes into me. Suddenly, Naruto grabbed his head and images and events that he had just imagined began to appear in his mind. After waiting a little while and digesting the situation, he was able to relax. Now I need to figure out where I am and how to get to Konoha and... I can feel chakra pockets to my left. Is it possible that my sensor ability that I got from Kurama is still with me? That's good. I think it would be better if I go after them. With these thoughts he stood up and moved towards the springs. As he moved he felt that several of the fires had gone out. They flashed through his head. Preparing for battle, he put his hand behind his back and grabbed the handle of gunbai. As he continued to move, he saw 2 people his age on top of a tree. This is... flashed through his head when the guy holding the girl in his arms noticed him and came down, still holding the girl in his arms. Who are you? Minato asked, carefully and cautiously watching the sudden guest. My name is Naruto Uchiha. I am not your enemy. I need to go to Konoha, he said calmly, putting on the Uchiha mask. Uchiha? But what are you doing here? All the shinobi in the village are mobilized, because of a possible war, and you don't have the symbol of Konoha. This begs the question, who are you really? Minato asked again. It's very simple, I am not a shinobi of Konoha. I was born outside the village. Not long ago I decided that it would be better if I returned and joined my clan. Naruto answered calmly. But the Uchiha clan keeps a close eye on its members, since the Sharingan is very valuable and any village would like to have a similar Dijutsu. I am the grandson of Uchiha Madara, Naruto blurted out, deciding to stop beating around the bush. There was an awkward silence. The red-haired girl, who had been silent the entire time, widened her eyes when she heard the last statement, just like her savior. Well, then I should report you to the Hokage, Minato said somewhat uncertainly. What should I report? What should I report? Asked a tall man with long, spiky white hair and red lines under his eyes. About me, Naruto said, looking at his mentor, who had replaced his father, and barely restraining himself from rushing to hug him. Jiraiya-sensei, the Cloud Shinobi tried to kidnap Kushina. I barely tracked her down and saved her. We need to report this to the Hokage immediately. You're right, let's go straight to the Hokage. Actually, just like you, young man, you will tell there who you are and where you are from. Hi! Then they silently moved to Konoha. Kushina, from the stress and fatigue, fell asleep in Minato's arms. He in turn glanced at our hero. Jiraiya wondered where he could have seen this young man. We got to the village without incident, just like we got to the Hokage's residence in childhood. Once inside, they went up to the village head's office. Stay here for now, it will be better if we deal with you one by one, said Jiraiya. Fine. Minato with Kushina and Jiraiya hid in the office. Naruto began to examine the residence, which did not change much. While they were getting to the residence, Naruto quickly examined and compared it with his village, and came to the conclusion that the changes were not strong and most likely this Konoha is simply smaller than the one in which he was born. An hour of waiting passed, after which the door opened and Kushina and Minato came out. Come in, but take off your weapon and put it near the door in the office. With these words, Minato left, taking Kushina with him. Naruto entered the open door, placed gun by near the wall, and walked to the middle. At the table sat the Hokage himself, a middle-aged man, Hiruzen Sarutobi, and behind him on his right hand stood the same rejuvenated elders, Koharu Udatain, Hamura Mitokado and Danzo Shimura. On the left side stood his students, the future legendary Sannin, Orochimaru, Tsunade and Jiraiya. My name is Sarutobi Hiruzen, I am the third Hokage and the ruler of this village, and now I want to hear your name and story from you. My name is Naruto Uchiha. I am the grandson of Uchiha Madara. Madara had no children, said Danzo. During his life, he made a lot of enemies. For this reason, the existence of his wife and son was a secret, even for the Uchiha clan. Let's say this is a precautionary measure. How can you prove your words? Asked Elder Koharu. I know that the Yamanaka clan lives in Konoha territory. Why don't you invite one of them and check my memories? That's what we'll do, cat. Hi. Bring me the heads of the Uchiha and Yamanaka clans. Hi. In the meantime, let's listen to your story. Half an hour later, the heads of the two clans were standing in the office. Yamanaka checked the memories and confirmed Naruto's words. After that, the head of the Uchiha clan, Kagami, took the floor. Since you are an Uchiha, I will give you a house on the clan's territory. Tomorrow we will have a fight, with Madara's student and… What? Who dared to call himself my grandfather's disciple? This is impudence and a lie. I demand a duel to the death. Okay, I will fulfill your demand, but that's tomorrow. Now take the keys to your new home. Thank you. In that case, how about proving your strength and usefulness to the village itself? That's a great idea. Tomorrow my A and B will come for you and take you to training ground number 10. Hi. The meeting was over and Naruto was released, with an A and B wearing a wolf mask being sent to show him his new home. Naruto, entering the house, immediately went to sleep, as this day was eventful and tiring. As soon as his head touched the pillow, Naruto fell into the kingdom of Morphus. The next day, Naruto got up at 6 in the morning and stretched. After that, he took a shower and went to the kitchen to look for food. Fortunately, there was some in the house. He cooked some eggs. There was a knock on the door. On the threshold stood yesterday's ANBU in a wolf mask. Naruto-san, you are expected. I was ordered to help you get there. I'm ready. Taking Gunbai and placing it behind their backs, they moved towards training ground number 10. Arriving at the training ground, ANBU immediately disappeared. There were a lot of people at the training ground itself. It seems everyone is interested in what Madara's grandson is capable of. At the training ground itself, a middle-aged man stood and with his whole appearance showed pathos. It seems that you are the very same, Madara's self-proclaimed student. And you are his grandson? Ha! It seems that Madara will not be able to calmly pass into the pure world while such a misunderstanding disgraces his name. Are you done? Shall we get started? Madara's disciple flashed his 3-volume Sharingan angrily. The head of the clan entered the field. Today there will be a duel to the death. Between Uchiha Naruto and Kazara Uchiha. I ask you to leave the arena and not interfere with the duel. With these words, Kagami left the arena, and the two Uchiha stood opposite each other. As soon as they formed a concentration seal, a barrier appeared over the field. Kazar instantly jumped back and made a seal in mid-jump. Fire technique, Fire Dragon. A huge dragon flew at Naruto, and Kazar jumped after it to finish it off if it survived. Naruto held out his gunbai in front of him, and the technique crashed into the weapon and was absorbed. Reflection of the Uchiha. A huge column of fire burst out from the weapon towards the flying Kazar. The technique flew into the unborn Uchiha, leaving terrible burns incompatible with life. The body collapsed to the ground, and Naruto put the gunbai behind his back. There was a moment of silence at the training ground, then many people began to clap and joyful shouts could be heard. It looks like he was a terrible person, Naruto thought, looking at the body. The Hokage and his close associates approached him. Well, this short demonstration of strength has allowed me to evaluate you. I grant you the title of Chunin for now. With these words, the third held out the bandage and the village vest. Thank you, I will justify your trust, Naruto said with a bow. You may go free. Naruto walked through the Uchiha clan's territory towards his home. As he walked, he thought about his next steps. But his thoughts were interrupted by a scene that was happening near one of the houses. I don't care what you want or about your feelings, you will marry Fugaku. You should be grateful that such a young man paid attention to a girl like you. I'd rather die than marry him. He's an arrogant, rude and haughty turkey. If you want to become related to the head of the clan, then marry him yourself. The man turned red with anger and slapped her across the face. The girl fell on her side, holding her cheek. How dare you speak to me like that? I will grind you into dust. He swung for another blow, but a huge red, bony hand grabbed him and lifted him off the ground. AAA, what is this? The man's hand reached out to Naruto, and he looked into his Manjikyu Sharingan. Only a worthless person would hit a girl because of his ambitions. Who are you? I'm the one who will break your arms if you dare to hit her again. Susanoo's hand flew away and the man fell to the ground. Naruto stepped over him and walked over to the girl lying down and extended his hand to her. She looked at him and took his hand. My name is Naruto, what is yours? Naruto asked with respect and a slight bow as a sign of greeting. Mikoto. Uchiha Mikoto. Thank you, but you shouldn't have, she said with a blush on her cheeks. Nice to meet you, Mikoto-san, but I can't stand watching girls get beaten. They looked at each other silently until Mikoto spoke up. Oh, I'm late for the meeting, I apologize, I hope we meet again, she said, quickly leaving towards the exit from the clan's territory. And me, Naruto said, looking after her. After coming home and having lunch, Naruto decided to take a walk around the village. After leaving the clan's territory, he began to walk around Konoha and compare it to his own. He had walked almost halfway around the village when he was called out. Naruto-san! Naruto looked back and saw blonde hair and blue eyes. It was Minato. Hello, sorry I don't know your name. My name is Minato Namikaze. I would like to be friends with you. I don't mind. I don't have any yet anyway. Friends, and I see you are a good guy. Thank you. In that case, we can switch to informal terms? Yes, perhaps. Then let's go, I'll introduce you to two good people, if you don't mind. Let's go, I have nothing to do anyway. Naruto and his new friend headed towards the Hokage mountain, talking about themselves. On the mountain they were met by two girls. They were Mikoto and Kushina. Naruto-san, I suggest we switch to informal terms, Naruto said with a smile. Yes, perhaps, Mikoto said unsurely. And my name is Kushina Uzumaki, Databane. Oh. Nice to meet you, my name is Naruto Uchiha, Naruto introduced himself, not paying attention to the girl's strange words. Their conversation continued until the evening. They only paused to enjoy the sunset. More precisely, everyone except Naruto, who was trying to style his hair, which was blocking his view due to the wind. Mikoto, watching her new friend suffer, decided to help him. Walking around him from behind, she took off his forehead protector and styled his hair, then put the forehead protector back on, combed and styled his hair. The new hairstyle became like Itachi's. Thank you, you are my savior, Naruto said smiling. You're welcome, Mikoto said with a soft smile. The boys continued to watch the sunset. Naruto noticed out of the corner of his eye that Kushina wanted to say something, but she seemed afraid. He realized that she most likely wanted to tell him that she was a Jinchuriki. Kushina, is everything okay? Naruto asked. Yes. I just want to tell you something about myself. I'm listening. Usually, when I talk about this, they stop communicating with me. In general, I am the Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed demon fox, Kushina blurted out in one breath and began to watch his reaction, just like the others. But there was no reaction, not a single muscle twitched on his face. He continued to look her straight in the eyes and say with his whole appearance that he didn't give a damn at all. Is that all? I was preparing for the worst. I don't care what's sealed inside you, as long as it doesn't threaten your life, Naruto said calmly, looking into her eyes, and in the end he smiled his sincere smile. Tears welled up in Kushina's eyes. She smiled and said quietly, Thank you. Meanwhile, in the council chamber, Sunagokure no Sato, led by the third Kazekage, declared war on us. Amigekure, led by Hanzo Salamander, joined them. Intelligence reported that Iwagokure no Sato is mobilizing its forces. It looks like they will also enter this war, but it is not known on whose side, said the third Hokage, smoking his favorite pipe. What do you propose, Hokage-sama? Asked one of the Hamura elders. I propose to form two divisions. One will wage war on Amigekure, while the second will restrain Suna and not allow her to help, much less invade, the territory of the Land of Fire. This is a good plan. All that remains is to select the best shinobi of the village for these divisions, said Elder Koharu. I've already given orders for this. These divisions will mainly include jonins, so all that's left is... How about adding Naruto Uchiha to one of the divisions? Danzo asked with an unperturbed face. He's a chunin, Danzo, and still young. I can't send him away. He is Madara Uchiha's grandson. It won't be long before people start attacking him because of his grandfather's actions. It will be better if he demonstrates his strength and loyalty to the village on the battlefield. Especially since he only became our shinobi today. He wasn't born in our village, he has no attachments. It's nothing for him to betray the village at the first opportunity. I agree with Danzo-sama, said the head of the Naro Shikaro clan. It is not necessary to send him into the very hell. His grandfather was called the god of war. His strength was proportionate to the strength of the first Hokage. But Madara committed many terrible deeds. The day is not far off when the inhabitants and some shinobi will remember and want revenge. The battlefield is an excellent way to prove your strength and loyalty to the village. Many members of the council thought about the words of the genius clan member. There is sense in your words, Shikaro. In that case, he will take part in this war. Now let's continue. After 2 hours. So let's sum it up. First division will be under my personal command. Because I am the Hokage, I will have to stay in the village to protect it, so the command will be through the Yamanaka clan's technique. My students will be part of this division. Shikaro Naro, you are appointed commander of the second division. Your division must contain the Suna forces on the borders of the Land of Wind, and not let them pass. You will take Uchiha Naruto into your division. If there are no questions, then the advice is over. Naruto and his new friends sat on the mountain until nightfall. Afterwards, they went home. Minato volunteered to see Kushina off, who was only too happy and accepted the offer. After saying goodbye, they headed towards the residential complexes, leaving Naruto and Mikoto alone. "I'll walk you out, Mikoto." "It's not worth it, Naruto. We're going the same way anyway. And it will make me feel better," Naruto said, looking into her eyes and feeling a blush appear on his cheeks. "Well, let's go." They spent their journey talking about everything under the sun. As Naruto approached Mikoto's house, he saw her father sitting on a bench in front of the house. "So where have you been hanging out? Your actions put me in an awkward position. Fugaku came by and I had to apologize because his future bride was hanging out God knows where and with God knows who. Go home. Tomorrow we're going to visit the head to draw up a marriage contract." "No! I told you I won't marry him. Never. I don't love him. I'm tired of your disobedience. I've had enough. Either you accept Fugaku's proposal and marry him, or pack your things and go away. And think carefully, if you choose the second option, you're no longer my daughter." With these words, he stood up and disappeared behind the door. Mikoto's tears returned from her own helplessness. She moved towards the house, but a hand fell on her shoulder. Turning around, she saw Naruto's worried face. "What have you decided, Mikoto? What other options are there?" Mikoto asked bitterly. "I have no place to live. It looks like I'll marry Fugaku." And at the last words, she began to cry. Naruto couldn't stand her tears and hugged her. Mikoto buried her face in his chest and continued to cry. "I don't want you to suffer. I suggest you move in with me." At these words, she looked at him in surprise. Naruto smiled softly at her and continued. "There are 2 rooms in my house and one of them is empty. I understand that we have only known each other for a day and I understand that we—" But he couldn't finish, so Mikoto quickly hugged him, quietly repeating, Thank you. It's okay. Go pack your things. If your dad gets in the way, tell me and I'll sort it out." Mikoto nodded uncertainly and disappeared into the house. 35 minutes later, Mikoto ran out of the house, under the shouts of her father, and with her things she closed the door and went to Naruto. He took her things, led her to her new place of residence. Upon arrival, he gave her a tour and helped her unpack her room. Afterwards, they had dinner and went to bed. The next morning there was a knock at the door. Naruto cursed the morning and went to open the door. An ANBU wearing a wolf mask stood on the threshold. "We are calling you, Hokage-sama. It's urgent." "If it's urgent, I'll be there in 5 minutes." With these words, he dressed in his Chunin uniform and, having styled his hair in the same style as yesterday, went to the Hokage's office. Hokage's residence. Entering the building, Naruto went straight to the village chief's office. After knocking and receiving permission, he entered. In the office, besides the Hokage himself sitting at the table, there were 2 people standing. "Sorry for calling you so early, but it really is urgent. Yesterday Suna and AIM declared war on us. Yesterday there was also a village council on this issue. At the council we decided on your participation in the war. This is directly related to your grandfather, although he was a great man, but he was also the cause of death of many people, both enemy and citizens of this village. That's why I'm going to take part in the war, to prove that I'm loyal to the village?" "That's right. I'm glad you understood us. In that case, allow me to introduce you to the 2nd Division Commander, Shikaro Nara. I'm glad to have the opportunity to meet Madara's grandson. You don't have to worry about the war, you won't be sent into the thick of it to prove yourself to everyone. Forgive me for interrupting you, but I ask that you treat me the same as the rest of your subordinates. Although I am young, I have undergone the same rigorous training that my grandfather underwent. In that case, it makes things easier. The troops are scheduled to assemble in a week. We'll leave then. Any questions? Meeting place? The square in front of the residence, at 6 o'clock. I'll be there. Is that all? Take it. There are 100,000 are here. Buy yourself some equipment and everything you need. You can go. Hi. Naruto bowed and left the office. What do you say about him? Even though he is young, it is clear that he has seen a lot. He easily follows orders, it will be easy with him. There are very few like him. You're right. I think he has a great future ahead of him. Now let's get back to planning. I suggest we place here. Naruto decided that it was better not to delay and went to buy equipment. After shopping, he bought himself iron plates to distribute over his body for protection, shurikens, kunai, and a red-handled katana. He placed it on his left hand. After leaving the last store, he decided to buy groceries for home. As he was approaching one of the grocery stores, his new friends came out to meet him with their purchases. "Oh, hi Naruto!" Kushina shouted happily and rushed to hug her friend. "Thank you for helping Makoto," she whispered in his ear. "Hello everyone. It's good that I met you. I need to tell you something. Let's go to my house and talk there." And without giving anyone a chance to get a word in, he went home. The boys looked at each other, but decided not to argue and hurried after their friend. When they got home, they started cooking dinner together, talking about various topics. Afterwards, they sat down to dinner, still talking. Kushina was the first to lose her temper. "What did you want to tell us, Databane? It's connected with the latest events in the world. Yesterday Suna declared war on us, AIM supported them. Anyway, in a week I'm going to war." Silence reigned. "What?" Kushina shouted, "But for what? Aren't there more experienced shinobi? It's dangerous. It's war. It has to do with my grandfather. Madara has done many great and terrible things. It's only a matter of time before the villagers start to see me as a threat. And the fact that I wasn't even born here makes it even worse. But it's dangerous. Isn't there really no other way out?" Makoto asked tearfully. "I don't know. My division is leaving in a week." Naruto sighed. The atmosphere of fun was gone, forever. Minato sat with a thoughtful look and looked at his plate. Kushina noticeably became sad and pushed the plate away. Makoto tried not to cry. The person with whom she felt happy for the first time was going to a place from which few people return. Unable to hold it all in any longer, she jumped up and ran to her room. "Makoto!" Kushina shouted, but her friend ignored her and disappeared into her room. "I think we'd better leave for now," said the blonde man, who had been silent until now. "What?" "Makoto. Kushina, let's go, they have a lot to discuss." With these words, he stood up from the table, took Kushina by the hand and quickly left the house. Naruto was left sitting alone, but the sobs from Makoto's room brought him out of his stupor, and he went to her room. After knocking and receiving no answer, he sighed and opened the door. Makoto was lying on the bed, crying into her pillow. Naruto's heart ached at the sight. Unable to watch this, he walked over to her bed and pulled her towards him, hugging her tightly. Makoto clung to him as if he was already being taken away and did not loosen her grip. Naruto began to stroke her head. "Makoto. Everything will be fine, this won't last forever. Please stop. Stop crying, I can't calmly watch you suffer. I want to see you smile." Makoto raised her eyes, red from tears. "War is death. Please talk to the third, he is a good man, he will help. Please. I can't. I'm sorry." "Why?" "I was born 7 years after the First Shinobi World War. I traveled with my parents around the world and saw destruction, hunger, and despair. The battle of two shinobi is truly destructive, and the battles of entire countries is genocide. 20 years have passed since the last war, but the echoes still wander around the world. I saw it with my own eyes. War is a way to achieve goals, and many do not care about the price. For the sake of victory, they are ready to send their warriors to slaughter, deprive children of their parents, and parents of children. But the only thing worse than this is betrayal. I traveled with my parents, all over the world, in every country. There are those who betrayed their country and ideals for the sake of money. These people do not care about anything at all. My grandfather left Konoha because people did not accept him, they were afraid of him, and many hated him. Living in hatred, you yourself, without knowing it, begin to sink into it, and only the intervention of true love can save you, but not free you. Madara left Konoha, trying to find his way, with the one he loved, but the hatred that the inhabitants of Konoha instilled did not go away. He fell into madness. Intoxicated with his power, he rejected everything good, and voluntarily plunged into darkness. I do not want to follow in his footsteps. I do not want to. I ask you to believe in me and wait. Uchiha's love only once. Naruto. Yes, Makoto, We've only known each other for 2 days, but I'm ready to live with you my whole life." They continued to sit, but in silence, and soon they themselves, without noticing it, fell asleep. Part 6. War. Arrival. The next day, Naruto woke up at 5 a.m. There were only 6 days left before he left, and he needed to hone his skills as best as possible. Getting up carefully so as not to wake Mikoto, he went to the farthest and most abandoned training ground. After 5 hours, Naruto walked back home and thought about the upcoming war. Although Naruto did not stand out for his love of history in the Ninja Academy, he knew everything from the introductory course. The third Kazekage and Hanzo are considered a huge problem. Each of them possessed truly enormous power. With these thoughts, Naruto reached his house and found an unfamiliar person. Judging by the clan symbol on his back, he was undoubtedly his clanmate. But that wasn't what caught Naruto's attention, it was the fact that he was holding Mikoto by the throat. Activating his Manjikyu Sharingan, he grabbed it with Susanu's hand and threw it away from the house. "Who are you and what do you think you're doing?" Naruto asked, already imagining how he would rip off his arms. "I am the son of the clan leader. What do you think you are doing? She is my fiancée and you are meddling in matters that do not concern you." "Bride? I know for sure that you were given a negative answer and this incident can be considered as an attempt to enter someone else's house. I have the right to resist with possible injuries." "Who are you?" "I'm the future head of the clan, all this belongs to me. Get out of the way for now." "What's going on here?" "Father! I came to talk to my fiancé, and he attacked me." "The bride?" "Her father came to me today and asked for forgiveness for the fact that there will be no engagement. So this looks like an attempt at penetration. But I am a father." "Enough. Apologize now and leave. I need to talk to Naruto-san." "Hi. I beg your pardon." With these words, he cast one last evil glance in Naruto's direction and quickly left. "Forgive my son, he is a good shinobi, but too arrogant. I accept your apology." "You said you wanted to talk to me?" "Yes. Please, let's go for a walk." Naruto nodded and helped Mikoto stand up. "I'll be there soon." Mikoto nodded and went into the house, and Naruto followed after the head. "So what did you want to talk about?" "This concerns the upcoming war. I received permission from the council to brief you on the matter. So, in 2 days, the 1st Division will leave from the village. Its task is to clear a corridor for you to the border with Suna. Your task is to contain the enemy forces. Due to the fact that Suna is located in the desert, we will not be able to attack them. Therefore, the only reasonable solution is to contain the enemy's onslaught as far away from the land of fire as possible. You are the only one who will go to war from the Uchiha clan. The rest will serve in the Konoha military police and protect order and the village itself. I would leave you here too, but you yourself know what consequences this could have." "I understand. There's one more thing, your Manjikyu Sharingan, as I understand it, is eternal?" "Yes, I got it from my father." "That's good, then you will show the power of the Uchiha clan." "Well, if you have no questions, then this conversation can end. Thank you for the information you provided." "I have no questions." "Then see you later, Naruto." "See you?" When Naruto came home, he discovered that he had guests. Walking into the living room, he saw his friends. "Hello? Naruto. Where do you go databang?" "Sorry Kushina, I was briefed on the situation." "Mikoto, how are you?" Naruto asked, approaching her. "I'm fine." "Fine." The boys started talking and chatted until late at night. When they were about to leave, Naruto called Minato to talk. "Minato, I don't feel comfortable asking you for anything, but I ask you to keep an eye on Mikoto. I'm afraid that her father or Fugaku will harm her." "It's okay Naruto, I'll keep an eye on her." "Thank you." The week flew by quickly. Naruto spent the rest of the time at the training ground, with his friends and Mikoto. The 2nd Division was lined up in front of the residence. The 3rd Hokage and the commander of this division were standing on the roof. After the 3rd's inspiring speech about the will of fire and the duty of a shinobi, Shikaro gave an hour to say goodbye to his loved ones. Naruto stood surrounded by his friends. Everyone tried to hide their sadness, but it was extremely bad. Hugging Minato and Kushina, he turned to Mikoto, but she threw herself on his neck. Hugging her tightly, he again stared into her eyes. The ringing of the bell brought him out of his stupor and he rushed to the gate, but stopped and turned around. He smiled the most carefree smile and disappeared along with the others. Amigekure no Sato. Border of Sunigakure. Upon arrival, Shikaro gave out many orders, namely, strengthening the walls and building towers, forming 3 attack squads, 4 patrol squads, forming a command center, and building a medical center. Thanks to the users of the Earth element, the strengthening and construction of additional buildings were completed extremely quickly. A place for a medical center was also allocated and cleared. There were also no problems with the formation of attack and patrol squads. The command center included Commander Shikaro Nero himself, squad captains, and the head of the medical ninja. 3 reserve armies were also formed. 1 to help in case of a breakthrough of the defense, the 2nd to help in protecting the rear, and the 3rd to help one of the 2 reserves. 2nd Division Council. Today, Suna scouts were spotted. I believe they were gathering information to break through our defenses. We have 5,000 shinobi. To effectively fight, it was decided to split the forces into squads. 3 squads of 500 people for counterattacks, 4 squads of 500 people for defense, and 1,500 reserves. Before sending, Hokage-sama gave me information. Small villages located between sand and fire refused support, and the right of passage to both enemy forces and ours. If this is bad for the enemy, then for us it is good. Due to the climate in the Land of Wind, our shinobi will not be able to fight long battles with the enemy, which is why we are holding them back at the border. Now let's get back to. Naruto sat on one of the walls and looked at the desert, and thought about his past, mistakes and dreams. POV Naruto. How many years I wasted in vain. My attempts to prove to everyone that I'm an ordinary child did not lead to anything good. Looking at my dirty tricks, I feel ashamed. Because of the constant loneliness and hatred surrounding me. Although who am I kidding, I just wanted to be noticed. But all I got was the attention of the Konoha police. I still remember the look of the police chief, such as Naruto's eyes widened in realization. Fugaku. He would be the next clan head, as well as the police chief. But most importantly, he was Itachi and Sasuke's father. And his mother, Mikoto. He was brought out of his thoughts by the Sand Army advancing on them. Part 7 War. Battle An hour has passed since the battle began. The sand storms the walls without success. Shikaro commands the defense on the wall. The shinobi are repelling the attacks, the defense forces are running out. Naruto and the attack force are waiting for the signal to enter the battle. The signal sounded. Naruto rushed into battle. Landing in front of the enemy army, he took out Gunbai with his right hand, his katana with his left, activating Sharingan and rushed into battle. At great speed, he cuts off the heads of 2 shinobi who did not have time to react and blocks a blow with Gunbai with his right and jumps back with a turn, pierces the heart, but a gust of wind blows him to the side. Regrouping in the air and putting the weapon back, Naruto lands on his feet and folded the seal at great speed. Rat bulldog horse monkey pig tiger said. Great fire destruction. And a huge wave of flame rushed towards the enemy, burning several shinobi. Naruto grabbed his weapon and rushed towards the enemy. The battle lasted for half an hour, until the sand reinforcements arrived and the leaf ninja began to press. Naruto, seeing that there was nowhere to retreat, activated his Manjikyu Sharingan and, jumping as high as possible and directing a huge amount of chakra into his eyes, said, Amaterasu. A huge black flame engulfed many enemy ninja. The surviving Suna ninja tried to put out the flames, but nothing worked. The Konoha ninja retreated to the wall and regrouped. Naruto landed in front of his own, fell on one knee, leaning on Gunbai and breathing heavily. His eyes hurt a lot. Activating the mystical palm technique, he ran his eyes to dull the pain. As soon as his eyes stopped hurting, Naruto opened them and stood up, short of breath. This flame. Only I can put it out. Go away or die. The Sunnites began to look around. They realized that they had lost and began to retreat from the walls. Naruto concentrated and extinguished the flames. The defeated grabbed the wounded and dead, and hurried to leave the borders. As soon as they disappeared over the horizon, Naruto passed out from chakra exhaustion. 2 days later, Naruto woke up in one of the tents. He got up, sat on the bed and began to put his thoughts in order. I'll have to start training my eyes even more, otherwise it's the end for me. I wonder how long I was out cold? Okay, I'll ask the doctor when he comes. Yeah, if I'd stayed so carefree, I wouldn't have survived that attack. Madara's skills more than replace mine. I wouldn't have defeated them with just the Rasengan and clones. Although, if I had created a technique like that in front of everyone, I'd have to explain a lot about how I created it. I'd rather wait for Minato to come up with it and create it, and I'll practice quietly for now. I'm even thinking about helping him improve. But that's later. Now I need to win. Naruto was so deep in his thoughts that he didn't notice Shikaro's arrival. Are you awake yet? That's good. How long was I out? 2 days, don't worry. Nothing else happened. I have a question for you. Yes, of course you ask. This black flame, what is it? This is one of the abilities of my eyes, the flame of Amaterasu. This flame cannot be extinguished, it will burn until the one who summoned it extinguishes it. This is a rare ability, not every Sharingan user has it. Oh, really? Got it. Well, that's even for the better. What do you mean? Your ability will allow you to earn yourself a name. In fact, you did. After this battle you were given a name. I thought about it, and decided that it would be a good idea to spread it among our enemies. So congratulations, Black Flame of Konoha. 4 years had passed since the first attack. Naruto stood on the tower, leaning against the spire located on the roof and folding his arms across his chest, looking at the desert. In 4 years, Naruto rose to the rank of Jounin, became the captain of one of the squads, successfully repelled attacks and became famous thanks to the final battle with the Sand. One day, namely in the morning, the Sand Army, led by the 3rd Kazekage, attacked the borders. In this heavy battle, the wall was destroyed and even the reserves entered the battle. Naruto fought fiercely, killing and burning his enemies in black flames. In 4 years, using Amaterasu ceased to be a problem and Naruto mastered this type of flame, transforming and controlling it at the highest level. And the victory would have been real, if not for the huge waves of sand attacking everywhere, killing many shinobi. Naruto dodged and attacked the Sunnites without any problems. But sooner or later, all good things come to an end. Shikaro personally entered the battle and gave orders on the battlefield. Because of the chaos happening around, screams, explosions, it is very difficult to concentrate on several things. The Nara clan is very gifted mentally, but weak physically. Unfortunately, their main feature does not allow them to develop physically. Laziness. Shikaro is a talented commander and tactician, but extremely physically weak. Once again thinking about counterattack, he did not have time to react and one of the spikes of iron sand pierced him in the heart area. Naruto, seeing the death of his commander, almost went after him, but reacted and put out his gun by blocked the attack. Having flown into the wall and subsequently dropped his gun by, Naruto barely got up and began to look around and seeing that without the commander who directed them, they began to give up positions greatly and seeing no other way out, Naruto activated his Manjikyu Sharingan, called his Susanoo. The huge warrior now towered over the battlefield. After practicing in battle and using the Manjikyu often, Naruto discovered that his Susanoo had wings. With a stomp of his foot, Susanoo was thrown back by a huge number of enemy shinobi. A huge wave of sand flew at Naruto, with the task of knocking down the huge warrior, but Naruto put up his Yata shield and the technique hit the shield and dissipated. Without wasting time, Naruto pulled out the Tatsuka sword and stomped his foot again, causing strong waves that throw back the enemies and forcing the 3rd to build a shield for protection. Naruto thrusts and pierces the 3rd Kazekage. The Sunnites, seeing their wounded Kage, rushed to his aid. But suddenly, he was sucked into a huge vessel. The Sand ran. No longer having an army and a leader, they left. After the Sand escaped, Naruto dispelled his Susanoo and fell to all fours, breathing heavily. The bingo book put a high reward on his head. During this time, Naruto became good friends with the future legendary trio, especially Jiraiya and Tsunade. Orochimaru did not want to waste time and disappeared into his experiments and formulas. During one of the missions in AIM, Naruto tried to change Tsunade's fate by trying to save Dan Kato, but he couldn't and, moreover, almost died himself. Tsunade managed to save him. Seeing her condition and knowing what she would do, Naruto used his secret technique, narratotherapy, and was able to bring her out of this condition. After that, Jiraiya tried for a long time to find out the secret, built theories, and once even suggested that Naruto had put Genzetsu on her and tried to free her, but got as always. He was brought out of his thoughts by a subordinate from the detachment. Naruto-san, the answer has arrived, they are waiting for you. Thank you. Part 8. Saving Uzumaki Kanahigaku no Sato. Council Hall. The information has been confirmed. Iwagakure, Kumogakure, and Kirigakure, having united into an alliance, have laid siege to Yazushio. As their main allies, we are obliged to help them. Starting a war against 3 more villages is stupid. We'll have to leave them. Danzo, are you out of your mind? They are our allies, we swore to help them, and I, as the Hokage of this village, will help them. But you are right, we will not go against them openly. Hokage-sama, if Yazushio is under siege, how did you know? This information was given to me by one of our shinobi. You may know him as the Black Flame of Konoha. There was silence in the council chamber. Where does he get this information from? This alliance also asked Suna for help, but they refused. We can say that we were lucky that the shinobi participating in the negotiations was one of those storming the borders. He was captured by Naruto and interrogated by him using his Sharingan. Actually, I entrusted him with this rescue mission. You sent shinobi without the council's consent? Don't forget yourself, Danzo. It seems I'm giving you too much leeway. I'm the Hokage and I don't need permission to give my shinobi tasks. Will he be able to complete such a task alone? I'm sure he can handle it. He was given the nickname Black Flame for a reason, especially since he fought the 3rd Kazekage and killed him. At first I wanted to send White Fang, but his wife died. So I sent Uchiha Naruto. Naruto moved along the coast of the Land of Fire. He was dressed in black A&B gear. He had an important mission. For Naruto, it was a matter of principle, because being an orphan from a clan that didn't exist, he dreamed of a family, and now, even though he wasn't an Uzumaki, he wanted to protect and not just give the clan to himself, but to Kushina, port of the Land of Fire. Having arrived at the location and received important information about the state of the enemy forces and the island itself, Naruto began to make a plan on how to, first, get to the island. Secondly, to cross all enemy cordons and sentries unnoticed. Thirdly, get to the island itself. And fourthly, lead everyone unnoticed to the border of fire. After carefully thinking over the plan and analyzing the situation, Naruto began to implement his ideas. Activating his Sharingan and hiding his chakra, he moved towards the enemy's camp. Passing the enemy sentries, Naruto reached the island. Waiting for the guard to change, Naruto used the special seal pass given to him by the 3rd Hokage. Having penetrated the barrier and having moved away to a sufficient distance, Naruto stopped hiding his chakra and putting his weapon in front of him, raised his hands up and began to wait for the Uzumaki patrols. He didn't have to wait long, and after 10 minutes he was already surrounded by 5 people. Who are you? How did you get onto the island? I am a shinobi from the Hidden Leaf Village. My name is Naruto Uchiha. By order of the Hokage, I came here to help you. That's all I can tell you. I'll tell you more, only the main thing. Okay. Follow us. With that, they moved deeper into the island. Arriving at a huge building, surrounded by Uzumaki, Naruto was led to an office. Knocking and receiving permission to enter, he entered the huge office. I'm Ashina Uzumaki. So you're the reinforcements from Konoha? My name is Uchiha Naruto. Yes. I understand that you were expecting an army, but unfortunately, due to the situation in the world, we cannot help you. The Land of Fire is already at war with 2 countries, and starting a war against 3 more is simply suicide, both for us and for you. I will help you evacuate the inhabitants of the island and accompany you to the territory of the Land of Fire. There, our people will meet you and escort you to our village. I'm glad that Konohagakure values our alliance. Do you already have an evacuation plan? Unfortunately, no. I need data to create a plan. There is no need for that. I have a plan and I need you to implement it. As Yuzukage, I have a duty to protect the secrets of our clan. My son died in the last attack. Like most of the elder branch, the only survivors are me and Kushina Uzumaki. She lives in Konohagakure. As much as I don't want to, I will have to shift the burden of the clan head to her. After all, my plan is to sacrifice myself. I and the remaining volunteers will distract the enemy. We will open the barrier and enter our last battle. In the meantime, you, on the surviving ship, will take out the remaining 142 members of my clan and complete your task. But before that, I want to ask you. Certainly. Since time immemorial, we have specialized in Fuinjutsu, creating and improving our craft. Over 1,000 years, we have collected a huge library and noted it. And each clan head passed it on to the heir. Unfortunately, I cannot pass on our clan's knowledge to Kushina, but I want you to do it. I see your kind heart, I feel your compassion, and that is why I trust you. Will you help an old man? It's an honor for me, Ashina-san. I am Kushina's friend. I will fulfill your will. You are kind, Naruto-kun. I want to give you the Kusanagi sword. It is able to lengthen at the will of its owner. This sword can be customized for its owner, and will serve you faithfully. I give it to you. Thank you for the gift. Now I will give you the seal of storage, and we will discuss the plan in detail. Naruto stood aside and waited for people to say goodbye. Ashina approached him. Naruto, the plan needs to be revised. We won't be able to get the ship through unnoticed. They've moved their fleet and the only window is now under complete control. I have a plan. But for this you need to try very hard so that the enemies do not look at the sky. What did you come up with? I'll use my Susanoo to lift the ship and take off. I'll last until the shore of the Land of Fire, then I'll have to wait until I recover. We will provide you with cover. Thank you, Uchiha Naruto. May Shinigami-sama protect you. Naruto nodded and moved away from Ashina and activated his Susanoo. Taking the ship with passengers, he began to wait for the signal. The last Yuzukage and his loyal warriors drew their weapons, removed the barrier and rushed into battle, overcoming his desire to help. Naruto flew towards the coast of fire. Having flown up, Naruto carefully placed the ship and dispelled the technique, fell to his knee and began breathing heavily. Arrest stop. Part 9, War. The end Naruto sat on a tree and observed the situation. There was a day's journey left to the destination. Suddenly Naruto felt several chakra signatures. Climbing higher and activating his Sharingan, he noticed 11 shinobi. They were wearing strange uniforms resembling Anbu. Looking closer he saw Danzo. Knowing him, he didn't come to help. With his eyes, Naruto read Danzo's order from his lips to eliminate him and capture the Uzumaki girls and children. Realizing that he would hardly be able to win, he went down to talk to the clan elders. Sorry to bother you, but it's a very urgent matter. The enemy is located not far away. I'm not sure I can handle it. I need your advice. We can seal ourselves inside the seal that Ashina-sama gave you, but the reason we didn't use it right away is because we can only be unsealed after the seal is handed over to the new leader. But that's not all. After we are sealed, the seal cannot be handed over for a month. We have no choice. I'll have to seal you, and I'll send clones to Konoha with a warning. With these words, Naruto created 5 clones and conveyed the message that enemies were pursuing him, and he, in order not to expose the village, went on a month-long journey to confuse the enemy. After that, he sealed Uzumaki and disappeared. Only one clone made it to Konoha. He delivered a message to the third. That's reasonable, but you'd better go to Amigakure, they need your help. My students were able to find out Hanzo's location. Help them and take care of Uzumaki. I trust you, Naruto-kun. I will not let you down, Hokage-sama. Naruto reached AIM in a week. When he arrived at the squad's location, he did not find them. Late. Explosion. Uchiha rushed to its epicenter. At the sight, he saw 4 people. I name you the legendary Trinity of Konoha. This is the price for your lives. We don't need your indulgences. Enough, Jiraiya, we can't win. And you don't need to, Naruto said, landing in front of the Sanins. From now on, I'll do it myself. Amaterasu. The summoned beast burst into black flames. Hanzo jumped away from his summon, and it vanished into the mist. Isn't this the black flame of Konoha itself? I didn't expect to see you here. Hanzo Salamander, it's an honor to meet you. They say you're good at Kenjutsu. I want to fight. Naruto pulled out his katana and got into a stance. Orochimaru's eyes widened in shock when he saw what kind of katana he was holding. Where did he get Kusanagi? Hanzo pulled out his kama and rushed at Naruto. Uchiha did not wait and rushed towards him. They clashed with their katanas and jumped away from each other. Having filled his weapons with chakra, Naruto rushed again and rushed at Hanzo, who in turn rushed at him. Upon impact, the ground beneath them cracked, and Salamander, realizing that Naruto's katana was stronger, jumped back and threw a kunai with an explosive seal in a jump. Uchiha dodged and prepared to attack, but Hanzo used body flickering and escaped. Naruto sighed and turned to the Sannin. Tsunade had already started healing her partners. An hour later, the wounds were healed, but Senju lost consciousness from exhaustion. Naruto picked her up in his arms and sat her on his back, and the shinobi headed home. Commentary on Part 9, War. The end. Sorry for the shortage, technical problems with my brain. I'll post more tomorrow. Part 10. Step towards peace. The Leaf Shinobi group moved slowly. Tsunade came to her senses, but was too weak to leave the Uchiha's back. Jiraiya tried to take Tsunade, but as always he got. After a day of travel, they stopped for a rest. Orochimaru immediately went further, so that no one would disturb him. The rest settled in a circle around the fire. I have a serious conversation with you. It concerns the future of Konoha. What's happened? Tsunade, how many people are left in your clan? Very little. I'm trying to understand the reason. But constant missions and this damned war don't allow me to take care of the clan. I have my suspicions. I think you heard that the Uzumaki clan was destroyed. Well, it wasn't destroyed. The third gave me a task and I saved them. But when we were a day's journey from Konoha, Danzo tried to take Uzumaki, but I found him first and escaped. Danzo? But why would he need it? It was he who suggested sending me to war. During the time I was in this war, I managed to meet many shinobi. And from their conversations I noticed a pattern. The Senju clan dislikes Danzo due to his radical views that conflict with the will of fire. I am sure that he uses his position to send your clansmen on dangerous missions. This was confirmed by many shinobi who witnessed it. My advice is to call all your clansmen and stop carrying out missions. You must protect the clan, otherwise it will cease to exist. But Sensei wouldn't allow it. Jiraiya, Naruto is right. I suspected it myself, but then I lost my brother and blamed it on paranoia. You're right, Danzo has acted too willfully and cruelly more than once. But he also covers his tracks very well. Okay. The morning is wiser than the evening. The next day our company set out again. We moved slowly and carefully monitored the situation. Jiraiya told his stories from his travels, which one way or another ended with a description of the female form. Walking along the road, a little girl came out in front of them. The Sannin reacted instantly and attacked. Naruto, who had realized earlier that it was just a child, pulled out his gun and inserted it into the right, blocking their attack. The Sannin, having looked closely, calmed down, but remained ready. The girl handed them a paper flower. Naruto knelt down in front of her and accepted the gift. Smiling, he asked, "Hi, what are you doing here alone? My name is Naruto, by the way, and yours?" Konan. Konan, of course, according to Nagato's stories, they asked to become his students after this war. I must help them and prevent all their mistakes. So, what are you doing here? And why don't your friends come out? Yahiko and Nagato emerged from their hiding place. Maybe kill them? Orochimaru asked, stepping forward with a kunai. The children heard this and hid behind Naruto. The Uchiha, hearing this, angrily flashed his Sharingan. Don't touch them. They won't last long. This will be considered mercy on our part. Or we will help them with these. Naruto turned to the children. So how can we help you? Teach us ninjutsu, please. I can, but for this I have 2 conditions. First, you come with me to Konoha. What? But Amigakure is our home and… Basically, we don't have anyone, so we'll go. And what's the second condition? And the second condition? Make me some more origami. I want to give it to a girl. The children, who had expected the worst, relaxed. For the first time in a long time, Nagato encountered a kind person who sincerely wanted to help. Naruto reminded him of his father, and tears began to flow involuntarily. What's wrong with you? Everything is fine. By the way, my name is Naruto Uchiha, and you, young people? My name is Yahiko, and his is Nagato. You will forgive him, it's just that because of the war, many people treated us badly. Thank you very much. Nothing for now. Okay, it's time for us to move, let's go. Uchiha put Konan on his neck and taking the children by the hands continued on his way. Tsunade and Jiraiya looked at each other in surprise. Of course they felt sorry for the orphans, but to just take the children in like that. Deciding that they could think about it later, they followed him. Kanahigaku no Sato. Hokage's residence. Well, I'm glad you're safe. And what's more, they brought the future shinobi. It remains to decide where they can be placed. Sarutobi-sensei, the children will live on the territory of the Senju clan for now. And yes, my clansmen will not be carrying out missions for the time being. What's the reason? Tsunade, they are shinobi and their duty is to serve the village and… Elder Koharu, I said that they will not carry out tasks. You probably do not notice or do not want to notice, but the Senju are becoming less and less, and as the head of the clan, I am obliged to protect them, which I will do. Calm down, okay Tsunade, I understand. Thank you Sarutobi-sensei, with your permission I will go. Children, come on. We'll probably go too. Right. Jiraiya? Yes, see you soon. Once everyone left, the Hokage turned to Naruto. Now let's get back to Uzumaki's question. Where and when will they arrive at the village? Uzumaki is in a safe place, they will be here in a week. How many clan members were saved? 142 people. 20 girls, 20 boys, 2 clan elders and 100 children, from babies to teenagers. After the war, many of our shinobi died. We need fresh and strong personnel. I would like to be transferred to the root of all Uzumaki. I will find a use for them that will benefit the village. I have to refuse you, Danzo-san. Refuse you? Boy, you have no right to refuse me, their leader is dead, he. Heikage-sama, Ashina-san gave you a scroll. Let's read. I, the head of the Ashina Uzumaki clan, appoint my niece, Kushina Uzumaki, as the next head of the clan. I'd also name Naruto Uchiha, the protector of the clan and the keeper of knowledge. This is the Yuzuki seal. It can't be faked, so it's true. Heikage-sama, with your permission. We must invite Kushina, as the head of the clan, she is obliged to be here. Yes, you're right. Cat. Bring Uzumaki Kushina here, tell her this urgently. Hi. Part 11. Future plans A few minutes later, there was a knock on the door and a red-haired beast flew into the office. Hokage-sama call. Kushina stopped mid-sentence when she saw Naruto standing quietly to the side, looking at the portraits of the previous Hokage. A second later, a red spot flew at Naruto, with the speed of light. Uchiha, who did not expect such agility from his friend, barely kept his balance. Having come to his senses, he smiled and hugged Kushina. Hiruzen smiled at the sight. The elders made dissatisfied faces, but no one paid attention to them. Kushina squeezed the embrace tighter and tighter with each passing minute. Eventually, the air in her lungs ran out. You're going to strangle me now. Oh, I got carried away. I'm just so happy, Databane. We still have a lot of time. The reason you were called concerns your clan. Hokage-sama secretly gave me a mission to help your clanmates. In general, I managed to save 142 people and Ashina Uzumaki appointed you as the head of the clan. Huh? Why me? You are the only surviving member of the main branch. Unfortunately, the Uzumaki are now safely hidden. I will tell you the location in private. Kushina hugged Naruto again and said quietly, "Thank you." Naruto left the residence only an hour later. After checking on his students and informing them about training, he headed home. Naruto entered the house. Looking around, he noticed that everything around was shining. He smiled and walked into the hall. Reaching the chair, he collapsed into it and just wanted to relax, as the keyhole twitched. Sighing, Uchiha stood up and went out into the hallway. Mikoto was just closing the door with a bag in her hands. Turning around, she froze. They looked at each other in silence for 2 minutes, until Mikoto threw the bag on the floor and threw herself on his neck. Picking her up in his arms, Naruto pressed her to himself and couldn't help but smile. They stood in an embrace for half an hour and stood longer, but Naruto, feeling tired, moved to the sofa in the hall. "Tell me, how are you here without me? What's new?" Naruto asked, laying his head on the back of the couch. "Well, a lot of things happened. Well, the most important thing is that Minato and Kushina are officially dating. It was a long process," Kushina hinted to him with all her might. "I barely persuaded her to do without beatings. Not long ago there was a boy, his name is Hatake Kakashi. I think you know his father, so he graduated from the academy at 5 years old. Can you imagine? Not only did he enter earlier, but he also graduated with the best results. Minato came up with and created some cool technique. And also found a way to improve the second Hokage's technique. It's called Hiraishin. Actually, a lot has happened over these 4 years. It's too long to tell. Better tell me, what have you been doing, Naruto?" "Naruto?" Turning her head to the side, she saw the sleeping Uchiha. Smiling, she gently pulled his head onto her lap. Gently laying him down and running her fingers through his hair, she didn't notice how she herself fell asleep. 2 years later. During this time, a lot of events happened. The Senju clan is gaining strength again. Tsunade examined everyone. And what was her surprise when most of the Senju were poisoned by something? She managed to remove the poison and, moreover, she instilled immunity to poisons in everyone. The Uzumaki clan settled in the village. Kushina surrounded the Uzumaki territory with all possible barriers. She forbade arranged marriages between her clanmates and representatives of other clans. The Uchiha clan has a new leader. Fugaku is the new one, but not for long. He immediately showed that he is not going to cooperate with the village. The Konoha military police, with a new leader, has become much tougher. Constant complaints about abuse of power, intimidation and frequent beatings of civilians only worsened the situation. The situation became dangerous. Naruto, realizing that the further course would destroy the clan, saw no other way out. He challenged Fugaku to a duel to the death. Not without difficulty, but he was able to kill Fugaku. With the new leader, the clan underwent serious reforms. The arrogance that had driven the Uchiha for centuries began to quickly evaporate. The clan became one with the village, but not with root. Danzo tried to destroy the Uchiha with the help of Fugaku, but the change in leadership upset all plans. The most important thing Naruto did was to ensure that the police were not only Uchiha. This became another impetus for rapprochement with the village. Naruto himself, in parallel with the affairs of the clan, taught his students. The children grasped everything on the fly. The Uchiha even became attached to them. But a year later, they decided to return to Amigekure. Naruto let them go with a heavy heart, but at the end, he made them promise that they would never trust Hanzo, never. The guys didn't understand, but they didn't argue. Naruto also learned the Rasengan and helped him improve it. The relationship with Mikoto reached a new level. Uchiha took a long time to gather his thoughts, but still asked her out. As it turned out, there was nothing to worry about. 2 months ago, Minato and the other Jounin were assigned wards. The Namikazes were Kakashi, Obito, and Rin. Yesterday Naruto was also informed about the team assignment, but was given the right to form his own team. He thought for a long time and finally chose 3 Kunoichi, Kurina Yuhi, Anko Mitarashi and Yugao Yuzuki. The third was surprised by the choice and even tried to convince him, but Naruto insisted on his own. Today was the day of introduction. Naruto arrived on time and took his team. Having brought them to the training ground number 20, he began the introduction. So, my name is Naruto Uchiha. I am your sensei, for the time being. I suggest that we all get acquainted. Tell me about your likes, dislikes, dreams, goals, and what direction you would like to train in. I will set an example. My name is Uchiha Naruto. I like to train and teach. I do not like betrayal and wars. My dream is to stop all wars. My goal is to find a family. And now let's move on to my skills. I know Kenjutsu, Ninjutsu, and Genjutsu. Now you? Let's start with you. Part 12. Future plans 2 Let's start with you. My name is Kurina Yuhi. I'm 7 years old. I like Genjutsu. I don't like it when I'm not appreciated. My dream is to become a master in Genjutsu. My goal is to start a family. I want to study Genjutsu. Okay, now it's your turn. My name is Mitarashi Anko. I'm 7 years old. I like Dango. I don't like it when there's no Dango. My dream is to become a strong kunoichi. I don't know the goal yet. That's great. Now you? My name is Yugao Yuzuki. I am 7 years old. I like Kenjutsu and training. I don't like being underestimated. My dream is to become a master in Kenjutsu. My goal is to become an ANBU. Well, now that we've all met each other, let's discuss the training schedule. So, on Monday and Friday we'll be training teamwork. In the following days, I'll take turns training each of you individually, in the direction you want. In general, there should be some kind of test to check, but I think it's unnecessary. And now, after we've met, I'm inviting you to a barbecue. There will be Dango, don't worry. Naruto and his new team had a good time. Uchiha got to know each of them well. Now Naruto, in addition to clan affairs and managing the Konoha military police, trained his own team. Teamwork was excellent. Uchiha squeezed everything out of them. Each of them honed their skills. Kurinai in Genjutsu, Yugao in Kenjutsu. Things weren't so good with Anko, she just didn't know what she liked. Then Naruto suggested that she create her own fighting style and practice it. Mitarashi happily agreed. Another year passed in this vein. With the training, advice, and support from Sensei, Naruto's entire team became Chunin. Naruto walked around for a long time and bragged to everyone that he had the best team. But today Naruto decided to take a desperate step. Today he wants to propose to his beloved. All month he made plans, but each time he failed. And today he decided. Now he was standing in front of the door of his house and was afraid. Afraid to enter his own house. He would have stood like that for probably an eternity until he was hugged from behind. Naruto almost grabbed a kunai from surprise, but after realizing who it was, he calmed down. Turning around, he looked into black eyes and smiled. All the worries immediately faded into the background. Having collected himself from the smallness and taken a deep breath, Naruto began. Mikoto. I thought for a long time. Anyway. Be my wife. Mikoto's eyes widened in surprise. This suggestion was clearly unexpected. After collecting her thoughts, Mikoto looked into Naruto's eyes. I agree. Naruto felt an incredible surge of strength. Picking her up in his arms, Naruto began to spin her around. Mikoto laughed. They were both happy. Another year passed. Naruto now had a family life. He continued to teach and help his team. But not everyone has it so smooth. A week ago, Tsukumo Hatake died. He was sent on a mission where they were surrounded, and in order to save his team, he stayed behind as bait. His body was found the next day. There were many corpses around. Kakashi was having a hard time dealing with his father's death. He made a firm decision and decided to follow in his father's footsteps. Now his comrades came first. A week ago, Naruto noticed his students being approached. Not expecting it from himself, but Naruto felt anger. So this is what fathers feel. At first he was surprised by such a thought, but he realized that in 2 years these 3 girls had become like family to him. Guided by a suddenly awakened paternal feeling, he dragged the grief-stricken suitors away by the ears. The girls were very surprised by how their sensei scolded and threatened the young men. But their surprise reached a new level when they heard the last sentence. I never like to repeat myself, so I'll say it only once. Come near them again and you're finished. I didn't raise them for idiots like you. Anyway, you get my point, or else you'll find out what the Uchihas do to protect their children. 3 people were watching this scene from the side. Minato, Kushina and Mikoto were standing nearby and were surprised at the last sentence at first, but remembering the joy and pride that Naruto felt towards these 3, they only smiled. Naruto's team looked at the sensei who approached them with bulging eyes. Uchiha did not immediately understand why they were looking like that, but remembering his last words, he laughed nervously. Haha, excuse me for including you as my children without your opinion. But he was cut off from finishing by a sudden hug. Naruto just smiled and hugged them back. Part 13 Council Hall. The situation in the world is still tense. In Suna, after the death of the 3rd Kazekage, the council ruled for a long time. Not long ago it became known that one of the shinobi left the village, but before that he killed many people. The 4th Kazekage became Sabaku no Raza. He wants peace, so he is not going to take revenge on Konoha for the murder of the 3rd. Things are worse with the 3 great countries. They learned that the Uzumaki clan appeared in Konoha. I suppose they are thinking about the next war with the Leaf. But they are stopped by the information about the Black Flame of Konoha. Yes, Naruto-san, your actions during the Second World War frightened many. No one would like to burn in a flame that cannot be extinguished. Are there any weaknesses to this technique? I will leave this question unanswered, Danzo-san. But I can say that besides me, only the Uchiha can use this flame. Even if the eyes are transplanted, Amaterasu is extremely difficult to use. And there is something else. Jiraiya-san, in his travels, learned information about me. It seems that in the battle with the 3rd Kazekage, some Suna shinobi were able to recognize 2 artifacts in my hands. The Yada shield and the Tatsuka sword. At these words, the members of the council looked at each other in surprise, and a fire sparkled in Danzo's eyes. It would be better if you handed over all the artifacts to Root. My shinobi are extremely skilled and such weapons would be an excellent tool for Konoha. Even if I had the desire to give them to you, I couldn't. These artifacts are part of my Susanoo. Even after my death and I transplant, for example, to my children, they would be able to receive these 2 or 1 artifact with a 50% probability. For example, neither my grandfather, nor my father and mother possessed anything like this. This is important information. I will order its distribution worldwide. Now let's get back to business. Naruto sat on the 3rd's head and looked at Konoha, with Mikoto perched on his shoulder next to him. Naruto. I went to the doctor not long ago. Well, to Tsunade. I don't know how to tell you this. Mikoto, tell it like it is. You're so worried, as if you were pregnant. Yes, I'm pregnant. Well, I think it's not scary, we can. What? I'll become a father? I'll become a dad. I'll become a father. Don't shout. Let's think about what to call it. I like it. Naruto-san, Danzo-sama is asking for a meeting with you. In an hour, near the Forest of Death training ground. You can go. Mikoto, let's go to the Uzumaki clan. You'll stay there, that old fool, he can come up with anything. What about you? I won't go without you. I'll go with Minato, everything's fine, we expected this outcome. Let's go. Naruto stood at the designated place. He had no doubt that it was a trap. The old fool had similarly killed Shursui Uchiha in the future, for his eyes. You didn't need to be a clairvoyant, or a genius to understand that he wanted his eyes in the eyes of all the Uchihas. Naruto clenched his fist. All that propaganda about everything for Konoha was just bullshit. This man only wanted power. An old schemer. 5 minutes later, Uchiha felt 11 chakra centers. But for a moment, there was only one. Well, it was not in vain that I hid the fact that I am a censor. A man came out in front of him. Danzo stopped 5 steps away from Naruto. I came to talk about the future and part 14 dash. And your help to Konoha, what you can provide. And how can I be of help? Suddenly Naruto felt a strong source of chakra from behind. Obeying his instincts, he did a backflip and saw Orochimaru standing behind him. He stretched his neck unnaturally long. Damn, so he wants to put his mark on me. Danzo gave a sign and Anbu appeared around. But they were the Hokage's Anbu, along with him. You crossed Danzo's line. And you, Orochimaru. Arrest them. Council Hall. How should I understand this, Hokage-sama? Don't the elders have the authority to? Enough. Danzo's actions are illegal, and he will be punished for his actions. Just like Orochimaru. We need to decide what to do with Anbu root. I suggest giving him under the command of the Uchiha. I think they will find a use for him. Thank you Shikako-san for your proposal, I fully agree with it. In that case, from tomorrow, Naruto Uchiha becomes the head of Root Anbu. Thank you Hokage-sama, Shikako-san. With your permission, I would like to completely reform Root. Now you are the leader, and it is up to you to decide how it will be. Well, that's the end of the council. The next day, the entire village learned of the elders and one of the Sanin's betrayal. In the middle of the day, the Hokage pronounced the death sentence. Shimuro Danzo and Orochimaru were executed. Naruto remembers the marks that the snake Sannin put. Because of this, his student Mizuki was checked. As expected, he had a curse mark on him. But the Uzumaki clan found a way to remove it. The mark was removed, which meant that Orochimaru was gone forever. 9 months later Naruto had a daughter. Naruto was happy. When he arrived at the family home to visit his wife and daughter, he suddenly realized that he was happy. All the suffering he had endured in childhood, loneliness, hatred, and now he was a father and a husband. A year passed. During this time, many events happened. His daughter, who was named Kiyomi, turned out to be a child prodigy. The girl greatly surprised her parents when she called her mother at the age of 1. Naruto tried to spend a lot of time with her, but the clan and root affairs prevented this. The position of chief of police was given to Shikako Nara. He denied it with all his might, but still accepted the position. Naruto's students became practically older sisters for Kiyomi. Day after day, they together with Mikoto looked after the child. Mikoto had long ago attributed the girls to her daughters. Minato and Kushina got married. Naruto, remembering what Madara could do, ordered the Anbu through Obito to scour the area for a strange, plant-like entity. The situation in the world became even more tense. Iva and Cloud cannot accept the fact that the Uzumaki clan continues to function and prosper. Of course, the most offensive thing for them is that the secrets and knowledge of the clan turned out to be fake. And some of them were explosives. Naruto firmly decided that after the Third World War, he would leave Root and take care of his daughter and clan. Another event made Naruto happy. Hanzo's salamander died. Yahiko became the new Amikage, and his friends Nagato and Konan became elders and chief advisors. Uchiha after this news, using all his authority, achieved an alliance. Now Konoha has one of the hidden villages on his side. Commentary on Part 14. Dear readers, I apologize for the parts. I understand they are not so interesting. The next part will be about the Third War. Part 15 2 years later. Naruto was teaching 3-year-old Kiyomi. Mikoto was in the kitchen preparing dinner. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Naruto opened the door, and there stood an Anbu wearing a wolf mask. Urgent meeting of the council. You can go, I'll be there soon. Hi! Naruto kissed his wife and daughter and headed off to an urgent meeting. Advice. Today, Iwagakure invaded Kusogakure territory with the aim of attacking our borders, and Kumo also concentrated its forces at our borders. I'm afraid that the Third Shinobi World War has begun. Hiruzen sighed sadly. It was obvious that he was tired. Hokage-sama, what are we going to do? We have an alliance with AIM, and Pasak also proposed a military alliance. But unfortunately, We haven't restored our own forces enough. I'm afraid we'll have to take accelerated courses and allow the Genins to participate in combat." The hall exploded with indignant cries. Many already had their own families and children, and the thought of having to send their own child to war, from where he might not return alive, was terrifying. Naruto sat with his eyes closed. World War III. It was this war that started the chain that led to terrible casualties. Kakashi-sensei stood before his eyes, looking blankly at the monument.